Okay.
I am Maxine Atong, and I am the host of Leadership Unlearned and Reframed. In this podcast, we invite you to take up your leadership mantle wherever you exist. Leadership is not only relevant to an organization, it is important for our families, it is important for our communities, and very much any space that you show up in. So it could be your place of leadership, it could be your local football or netball team. Every month, once a month, we host someone to talk about leadership. We usually host coaches, facilitators, or leaders themselves to share about their leadership journey. As the name suggests, we are unlearning what we've been taught about leadership. And because we may be taking away a belief system of yours, we are offering reframes. So that's why we are hosting Leadership Unlearned and Reframed. And today I have with me Ulrich Jean Claude, and he works and lives in Haiti, and he works in the leadership space. Welcome, Ulrich, and share a little bit about yourself with us.
Thank you, Maxine, and good morning to you. Good morning to everybody who listened to us this morning. It's really a good pleasure for me to be with you, to share ideas about leadership, about the work we are doing as facilitator, either as facilitator or trainer, and in any kind of leadership role we can have in our life. So my name is Ulrich Jean Claude. I am living in Haiti. I'm Haitian, and I am a father of three, and I'm work as a consulting firm owner and a leader. So working with local government, with young people, involving in training of trainers, in facilitation in Haiti. I'm also an entrepreneur investing in my country to create jobs and also make money and contribute to my country development. So as I said before, it's really a good pleasure for me to be with you this morning and share ideas with you and our audience.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. And Ulrich, you're my first guest from Haiti, and the news out of Haiti that we see, we're not on the ground, is a lot of turmoil. So how does your work exist in that space?
You know, this is I would say a good place for leadership for leaders. Okay, when we are living in challenge situation, when we are living in challenging times, so it's a good opportunity for leaders to work to emerge. As you mentioned it, usually we heard and we circulate bad news about Haiti. And in practice, Haiti is living a bad time in his life, facing gang violence, facing social and economic issues, difficulties. But in each of that situation, we have a group of people. We have women, we have men, we have young people that reflect and work to find a better way, to live, a better way to contribute to the country development. And this is a good opportunity for leader like me, like others, working with this kind of people to show another way, to present another approach, to discuss with other people and build a collaborative leadership and work for a transformational leadership too, because we need that. We need to transform our society. We need to transform our life and have a new narrative about Haiti, about our country.
Yeah, it's two things strike me about what you shared. One is in from chaos, there's opportunity. That's really evident because it's so easy to do things when everything is sort of calm, when there's no problem, it makes it really easy to talk about these lofty ideas about leadership. That's the first thing, and I want to explore that a little bit more. And the second thing is like the scale of it, because you're talking about involving young people, you're talking about a transformation across a nation, and that's a huge scale. So which one of those rabbit holes you want to go down with me?
Yeah, as you mentioned, it is a chaos situation. Most of the time, leaders emerge. Okay, leaders do the work, and they represent opportunities for that. And I'm working with several kind of groups of people, and my leadership approach is based on skills, competencies, and values. So work with people on how to do things differently and how to present a new approach, present a new a way of work based on collaboration, based on consensus, based on the change everyone has to make in his personal life, and then professional and public life. Because as we know, leadership is an extension of ourselves. So when we develop and apply values, principles in everything we do, we show examples, we become a kind of model, a kind of example people can follow, and we can bring together, we can build a group, we can build a team, we can build a critical mass of people that can declench the change and the development process we envision.
Yeah, so I'm definitely hearing that sense that leadership starts with self and working on the self in terms of developing and I guess concretizing what your values are, how you're going to operate. It makes it sounds like also it's from the individual, then we start to look out in terms of what we're doing, as well as the spread out in terms of sort of like infecting other people with this virus of leadership.
Yeah, right. You're right, because leadership is based first on ourselves, on itself. And if you, that's because we're supposed to embrace a personal development journey to develop our leadership, and also invite people, and we invite people most of the time by example, by what we are doing, but the way we work, and that can invite other people to follow us, to join us in that journey.
Yeah, so I'm wondering then, because there would be so many competing factors or competing narratives, how do you interest people to take the journey with you in terms of self-leadership, which could be an entirely long process, self-leadership, and then, leading by example and spreading it through the community. What is your selling point for people to actually want to do it your way?
I would say first, it's very challenging. It's very challenging, but as we know it's challenging, don't we face the challenge? But what I do in I would in my work training is transversal aspect. So training, capacity building is the way I do is to teach people about hope. Okay, we are our hope with us this morning, about the hope they can have in their potential, in their capacity to change and to make things differently. And also help them to develop a positive vision of themselves, of our society, and engage them in a process that require to make efforts to work on ourselves first, and then be the example people are willing to follow, are willing to work with, are willing to share with, and one by one we can do this happen.
I'm wondering if it's a particular, from what you've seen, from your experiences, your observations, is there a particular type of person who would be more inclined to join you on this self-transformation project?
Alors, I make the choice. There is a story about that, but I make the choice to work with young people, young student, young academician, young professional. So this group is priority for me in my work. But I also work with people from different generation, different different kind of people. As I mentioned it before, for myself, is not a question of generation, of age, it's more a matter of what people are willing to do, are willing to do to make the change happen first in themselves and in our society, every in church, every in a reference group, every with peers, every with a professional team to build a consensus and to build a new way of thinking first and a new way of working.
Yeah, okay, so it's more so what I'm hearing you say is across the board you work with different people, different groups. There is a concentration of young people, regardless of what they do professionally, that you also work with. So what have you seen as some of the resistance to this self leadership?
I would say the big kind of resistance we have is the what can I say that? I would say is the current situation. And when I say current situation, I'm not talking about actually, okay? The situation they are living in, they see most of the time bad thing happen, or we see most of the time bad thing reporting, and that can become the example to follow, either in politics, in social activities, in religious aspect. Most of the time we put in front of, we show the bad examples, and people are there is a attempt to follow this kind of example. And for me, the challenge is there. How to reverse this tendency. How to put the positive way of thinking, or to put the positive example, the good example. Either they are little, they are meaning, but how to put them, how to reflect on them, how to analyze them, and ask ourselves if we can do that. If Ulrich, if Maxine can do that, I can do that also. regarding my reality, and also involve myself in that in that process. The for me, the big challenge is there.
Yeah. I'd imagine so, because you're asking someone to go on a different path from what is happening all around them. And so I'm just thinking how brave someone would be to actually step off and step into something different from what is happening all around them. And to do that, they must require a lot of support from you to actually, if they start that journey, to continue on that journey.
Yeah, we in my firm, we put in place a kind of a network of people around the country, because I'm working in the objective for people not to depend on my own person. For example, in Haiti, my firm has a network of young professional, of young people. We work with them, and we put them together. We put them together. They can discuss. They can share idea with them. They can train in a mutual atmosphere and way. So I would say I try every day to be an example. When I teach something, I invite them to see that in myself first, to see myself doing that, or acting like that, as I request them to act, in order to show them they can do it, do it too. And also, I am working in an open way, where positive feedback and support are required and accepted by all of the members.
Yeah, so two things I'm hearing. One is that, you're definitely not doing this alone. You've provided a network, so you don't personally have to support them. There are other ways in which, people will get support through your network.
Yes.
And I was struck by the sense of leading by example, and what a huge responsibility that is for you. Because we're all human, we all have flaws, we all have parts of ourselves that we don't show people. And to take that responsibility on of, I will model the behavior that I am telling you about, that's a huge
Exactly.
responsibility. So how do you self-manage, self-regulate so that you could always be that example?
First of all, I have also a personal and professional development plan for myself. So every day, every
Perfect.
single day, I'm working on myself.
I love that. I love it
Okay.
because I don't have one. So that's great.
Yeah, I have one. Every day I am working on myself. I remember mentioning before our call this morning with you. Currently, for example, I am studying. I am working with the Maxwell Network, and everyone knows about the Maxwell in leadership. So I I have a family where I need, it's an obligation for me to be a father, to be a husband, to be a friend, to be there for my family. I am a trainer, so when we are in a workshop, we supposed to be this kind of example, participant, learners can learn from us. So I am working on myself in every aspect, every single day. Okay. And also, I am facing every single day big challenges. So good. Sometimes I'm fail, but never stay. And also get up to that and show this is good. I can do that. Every other people can do that also.
I have to admire that, the fact that you have a personal improvement plan. I do want to acknowledge definitely that you take this leadership seriously and into your family, being a father, being a husband, being the leader of the Jean Claude unit. So I really want to honor that as well, because we talk about leadership very often as something outside of ourselves. And what I'm really hearing you say is that, you're looking at your self-leadership on a daily basis, as well as taking the opportunity to practice it within your family unit. So what
Yeah.
is one thing that you're working on right now, Ulrich, which you believe will make a difference to your leadership?
Now I'm involving with other partners in I would say an adventure to put several communes in Haiti. They are connected to several aspects and they are facing similar problems. So we work with them to develop a kind of strategic plan to develop their commune, not separately, but in a common way. And I also involving now working with some young people in the north part of Haiti. Yesterday, I was with them in an activity. I'm involved in working with them in the designing of a manifesto. It's a manifesto for them to express their vision, their convictions, their values, and also develop an action plan for them to be involved in their own development first, and then in the contribute in the country development. That what I'm working on these days.
Love it. And so that's what you're working on externally. And I'm really interested in your personal improvement plan. What are you working on personally?
Oh, okay. About uh, now I'm working in with Marcel about communication skills
Okay.
because sometimes, for example, with a big challenge to be more open to people, to be more receptive, and to be more empathic with people. The empathic aspect in emotional intelligence. Currently, I'm reading again the emotional intelligence book from Daniel Goleman, and we're working in that aspect.
Absolutely. That definitely will be a game changer for you. I should say a game improver because your
Mhm.
game is already so far ahead. And so I'm wondering, based on your experiences and observations, what are within your context of Haiti, what are the most important leadership skills that you see as making a difference in your country?
Vision, some of them vision, okay, a big vision of ourselves and of our country. Also, my motto this day is a leadership based on skills and values.
Mm.
Okay, the new and the most recent book of from John Maxwell, I it's becoming a Bible for myself.
Mm.
Okay, book Maxwell teach us to about the differences because a manipulator and a leader, and for him the big difference is about the the combination of skills and values. And it teaches us to develop at the same time our values and skills because if there is a lack of one of them, we can tend to the manipulation. It's a bad thing when we work with people. So now I take this to follow and also to teach other people, to discuss with other of the people about that, because for myself that makes a big difference.
So the values and skills are really important in terms of developing the leadership.
Yeah.
So can you be specific in saying what values and what skills in particular that you're seeing relevant to your context?
In our context now, when I'm talking about honesty, I'm talking about a respect of people, respect of people, other people opinions. I'm talking about commitment and responsibility. Okay, when we take our responsibility to do something, and also about accountability. Okay, we are living in a society where accountability is not always at the rule. People have to learn and apply this principle, this value in their life, and skills several types. For myself, for example, now I am involving with my IT people in my firm in AI. Okay, it's inevitable for now. Okay, so I choose to be there and learn about that. But in a more large perspective, I work with other people about the strategic planning. And last year when I was in the IF conference in San Diego, so I participated in a session facilitated. I don't remember the name, but from San Diego itself, about the zoo strategic plan and the approach she used to help people for that. I bought the book, and now I take time to read, to study it, I would say. I study the book, and now I'm working with some colleagues about this aspect, because we think for Haiti to be in the process, we have to have a large perspective, a good vision of our country, of what we can do, and this skills is very important for us.
Yeah, so definitely that value of it's something that you mentioned before in terms of working with groups, in terms of having that vision, because you spoke about accountability and responsibility, and people are accountable when it is that they are clear on what it is they have to do. So there's a clear path forward, as well as when they trust. And I would imagine in a situation like yours, trust probably would be something that is, I don't know, where I should ask the question, where is trust in your environment on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest? Where is trust right now?
For my own environment, when I say own environment, so my close environment, I would say, let's say it's 1 to 5, right? 1 to 5, I would say between 3.5 to 4. But in the large perspective, in our country, in our society, I would say on the round two. Round two, based on the fact people have several bad experiences, past bad experiences, and they are reluctant to to trust other people when we come with new ideas, when we come with a new approach, when you propose something new, they can say, hey, why I should trust this one based on this bad experience we have in the past.
Absolutely. And I think that's fair, right? Because that's that's part of our learning, right? If I played with fire and I got burnt, if someone else is bringing something that looks like fire, I'm not going to be burnt. So how do you get over that?
Challenging.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. It's challenging, and also it's more easy when I'm working with close in my close environment, and in the large aspect, it's very challenging. Is if a sentence I used to say very often, it don't trust me on words, but show what I do, and try it with us, and also be vigilant, be 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 vigilant, be critical, but give us another, not give me, but give us another chance, another occasion, another opportunity to explore a new thing, and also work on I would say the rules, the principle we set at the beginning in our relationship, either in work aspect, professional aspect, and friendly aspects, I would say.
Yeah, I can imagine how challenging it would be. And I want to pay attention to the fact that you are defining the closed environment versus the open environment. And it sounds like in the closed environment, you have a bit more control than you do in the open environment. So it makes it a little bit easier. And so I'm just wondering, this word, I inserted the word control, having control over it. How much does that really play into what you're doing?
Say it again, Maxine.
Yeah. How does control of your environment help with your objective of spreading this leadership way of being?
Oh, it is a step-by-step way and approach. I start first with what I call my close environment. And based on that, we can build a trust, we can build confidence. And again and again, step by step, like I said, we can not exist or not having a control or on that. I would say we can create a new environment, or a secure, or a flexible environment where people can express themselves, what is bad and what is good to them. And when we start with that, and people are willing to share their ideas, and they know they are not will be criticized for that, so we can start developing and creating this kind of trust, and become at and arrive at a point where the environment can become more purpose, more open to big to face big challenging, and also to become a learning experience, a learning environment for everybody. For myself, that one of the ways we can develop this kind of trust, of confidence between us and our and the people we are working with, instead of working to exert or to have a control on the process.
Yeah, so I'm getting this image in my head as you were speaking about when you're speaking about the closed and the open. So is it that you take people from the open environment, put them in a closed environment, develop those skills for them, and have them sort of return to the open environment to sort of spread that? Is it that what you're doing?
Not really. You know, I also working with local government in Haiti. Okay, it's a kind of open environment. Okay, uh, we are repeating, we are doing the same kind other people, or same kind of things other people do or did in the past, and people can say, so why should I believe Ulrich or someone from our close environment when we know in the past, currently, we see bad things happen. So the approach we develop in EFOS is the name of my firm, is to recruit people in the regions, in the department, in the communes, and they are going to work with people they know. So it's not always people from outside our close environment, physical environment, that come to teach us new things. But you see your friend, you see your close neighbors, or you see your peers coming in the city hall, coming in the meeting, coming in the groups, working with you. And these people, this pair, this friend, and etc., are coming from what I call the ethos close and in environment. So by doing that way, we reduce the negative feedback or or a position they can have in front of other people coming from outside their environment. That's a way we use.
Yeah, so using people from the community or from the department, from the region, bring them to your environment, train them up, send them back into the region so that they could actually
Exactly.
work with people there. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm wondering, Hope, do you have any questions or anything you want to add to the discussion?
Good morning, Hope.
That sounds like a no.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Ulrich, before we go, is there one thing that you're, in terms of the work that you've been doing, is there any success stories that you want to share with us?
Recently, we train a number of trainers because Haiti is just faced the migration of several people from Haiti to US, to Brazil, to Chile, etc. And my firm, we lost several people, several trainers we trained in the past. And we face the need of new trainers to develop around the country, to go to the municipalities, to the communities. And so we set a training session online with several we identify as with a potentialities with requirements and then and I was surprised from a testimony from them. Most of them work with me more than 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, and they were very personal testimony about me, or I influenced them, what they learn from me, and the commitment they make to work with us, to work with my firm, and to work in the way we teach them to work either in their personal and professional life. That was very I would say an emotional moment for me, but also I took that as an energy to continue my work and to face what I am doing in Haiti now.
Absolutely. That sort of feedback makes your heart warm
Oh
and
yeah.
wants you to continue doing your work. And Hope has a question in the chat, and the question is, how do facilitation skills help you in leadership?
Oh, well, always say that facilitators, we are leaders. Okay, we are leaders, and I learned that from Gary Fobb, a president of the association, that facilitation skills put us in situation to work with people, to listen to them, to orientate them, to make them in a situation they can make their own decision. Okay, so when we do that, we offer them possibilities to discuss. We offer them possibilities to share ideas and to bring together resources, capacities from each people in the room, and we see ourselves as facilitator, as a contributor in the changing life of people.
Mm. Yeah, so it sounds like your facilitation skills are what you use to actually share this word of leadership.
Yes. Training, facilitation, put people together to work either as a team, either as a large group to think about things, to address challenges together. So I use that how some fields we learn from facilitation. So I use them to work, and in that way I develop and apply and practice my leadership.
So which one of those facilitation skills do you encourage your participants to develop?
Consensus building. Consensus building, so that require to listen the others, to appreciate others' ideas, to analyze together, and to work together. For myself, facilitation, training, leadership, it's about communication first. So, and communication is based on listening more than other aspects.
Yeah, so those facilitation skills of consensus building, which go right with active listening and having this sense of community. And I guess the word I'm walking away this morning with is community. That the sense of how you practice your leadership, leading by example, how you're building relationship, having those people who come to you and they sort of spread out throughout the country after. It is about, it sounds like a lot of your work is around community building, leadership, community building. And that's particularly noble, and it's a huge task.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. So, Ulrich, I want to thank you for showing up this morning and sharing a little bit of your world with us. Really want to appreciate and applaud the fact that you are making a difference in your country, and you're doing it with the skills that you would have learned, whether it's through your leadership PhD or whether it's through your facilitation lens. Regardless of which one you're doing, the point is you're working, leading your community and making a difference. Is there any last thoughts that you want to share with us today before we leave?
Yeah, let me start by thank you, Maxine, to offer me this opportunity to share some ideas about leadership with you this morning, and I really hope that can contribute to enlarge our perspective about that, because we need that. Only leaders can make things happen, new things, positive thing, large thing happen. That's the responsibility of leaders. So my final words is to invite people to believe in themselves,
Yeah.
to develop confidence in themselves and others, in others also, because we can't do that uh, by each people. Okay, it's only when we are together. It's only when we put our resources, any kind of resources we have, okay, together, we become strong, and we become strong to face the challenges, either about climate change, either about wars in the world, either about the development issues, either any kind of issues, we can face them together. So it's a must for us to work with other peoples, to tolerate, to appreciate, to analyze other people's ideas before leaving them outside. Okay, take time to listen to them. Take time to work with them. To take time to argument with that, but argument in a way to find this consensus, to build this consensus for a common way, for a common purpose in the world, in our country, and that's that in our self, in our family, in our with our friends, with our reference group, in our communities, etc. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So leadership is not for the closed system. Leadership is required in the open system. And the only way that we can have leadership in the open system is if each of us were to sort of take up our leadership mantle, look at ourselves, develop that personal improvement plan, and really begin our self-leadership process. And hopefully by being an example, other people will follow. So thank you so much for being here with us, Ulrich. We're going to put this up on YouTube and Spotify, of course, and we're going to invite you to subscribe and let your friends subscribe to us as well, so we can share and grow this word of leadership. So thank you for being a guest with us today on Leadership Unlearned and Reframed, and offering thoughts about how leadership works in the context of Haiti and all that it's going through today. Thank you so much.